The Great Pyramid of Giza stands as a silent testament on the edge of the modern metropolis of Cairo. For more than 4,500 years, it has commanded the horizon. A man-made mountain of stone that has captivated everyone from ancient travelers to modern scientists. It is a structure of immense scale and precision, built in an age without engines or steel. This simple fact has given rise to one of history's most persistent questions. How did they build it? Over the centuries, this question has been answered with wild speculation, from tales of supernatural forces to theories involving visitors from other worlds. These stories are exciting, but they obscure a far more compelling truth. The real story is better. The truth is not found in fantasy, but in the sands of the Giza Plateau itself. Decades of careful archaeological work have unearthed a wealth of evidence. We have found the tools the builders used. We have found the settlements where they lived. We have found the tombs where they were buried. This evidence paints a detailed picture of a monumental construction project, powered by human ingenuity, immense labor, and brilliant organization. For centuries, the story of the pyramids entangled with the myth of slave labor. Herodotus, writing 2,000 years after Khufu, claimed 100,000 men, 3-month shifts, immense suffering. This narrative, repeated through the ages, became accepted truth. A powerful image that fits a simplistic view of monarchies as brutal and despotic. But this story crumbles against hard evidence from the Giza Plateau. The idea of a suffering workforce doesn't match discoveries right next to the pyramids. Archaeologists, including our Giza Plateau mapping project team, have excavated builders' tombs. Not mass, unmarked graves, but honored burial sites, placed prominently near the king's pyramid. Those buried were laid to rest in ways that show respect. Their skeletons show hard labor, arthritis, healed fractures, and evidence of medical care. As the pyramid's scale became clear, some claimed human labor wasn't enough. That spawned imaginative theories, extraterrestrial intervention, or a lost anti-gravity civilization. They point to the pyramid's precision and the immense weight of stones as proof. Supporters say aliens provided knowledge or tools, leaving humans as assistants. But like the slave myth, the alien theory has no physical evidence. Not a single artifact, inscription, or biological trace supports non-human involvement. Every bit of evidence is human. So, if not slaves or aliens, who actually built the Great Pyramid? The answer is far more interesting. They were skilled Egyptian laborers. These were not men captured in war or born into bondage. They were citizens conscripted for a national project, much like a form of taxation or mandatory civil service. Evidence suggests that a core group of perhaps 5,000 skilled, salaried workers were employed year-round. This permanent staff included expert stonemasons, toolmakers, surveyors, architects. They lived with their families in a planned town just south of the Giza complex, a settlement now known as the Lost City of the Pyramid Builders. This lost city, excavated for over 30 years, provides a window into the lives of these workers. We have uncovered bakeries capable of producing thousands of loaves each day. We have found barracks for rotating laborers and more substantial houses for permanent overseers. The sheer volume of animal bones, primarily cattle, sheep, and goat, indicates a protein-rich diet, a luxury in the ancient world. They were fed like athletes, because their work required immense physical strength. This was an investment by the state in its most valuable resource, its people. The workforce was supplemented by a larger rotating contingent of about 20,000 men. These laborers were likely farmers who came to Giza during the annual Nile inundation, from roughly July to October, when fields were unusable. Working on the pyramid provided them with food shelter, a sense of purpose during the off-season. Inscriptions reveal workers were organized into crews, or files, which were further divided into smaller gangs. These gangs had proud competitive names like the Friends of Khufu. The Vigorous Gang, suggesting camaraderie and pride in their monumental task. This system was a marvel of social and economic organization, The state managed to mobilize, house, feed, and care for a population the size of a small city, all focused on a single construction project. The workers were not just cogs, they were participants in a project of deep cultural and religious significance. They built the eternal home for their divine king, a structure tied to the stability and prosperity of the nation. The construction of the Great Pyramid began with a fundamental challenge: extracting millions of massive stone blocks from the earth. The pyramid is composed of an estimated 2,300,000 blocks, weighing an average of 2.5 tons each, the weight of 2 small cars. The bulk were yellowish limestone quarried right on the Giza Plateau. This proximity was a crucial advantage, minimizing transport distance. Quarrying on this scale required a systematic, efficient process, using the simple tools of the 4th dynasty. They did not have iron or steel. Their primary instruments were copper, a relatively soft metal, along with harder stone tools. Workers carved deep channels outlining the block. They used copper chisels and saws, constantly resharpened. Abrasive quartz sand mixed with water increased cutting power. A slow, labor-intensive process requiring relentless coordination. After top and sides, the base remained. Wooden wedges soaked with water expanded to split the stone. With a loud crack, the stone split from the bedrock. An elegant use of physics. Most core blocks came from Giza, but specialized stones came from afar. The fine white Tura limestone used for the casing was quarried across the Nile. Even more impressive, the granite beams of the king's chamber, some weighing up to 80 tons, were quarried in Aswan, more than 500 miles to the south. They were transported north on the Nile using large wooden barges, a weeks-long journey requiring remarkable navigation and engineering skill. Once a 2.5-ton block was quarried, the next immense challenge was moving it to the construction site. They did not use the wheel for this, but relied on simple, stable wooden sleds designed for single blocks. Blocks were levered onto sleds and securely lashed with rope. Teams then hauled the load across prepared tracks with papyrus and palm fiber ropes. The path from quarry to pyramid was a carefully prepared track. A key discovery helps explain how they managed the haul. A famous painting from Jehutihotep's tomb shows a colossal statue on a sled, with a man pouring liquid onto the sand in its path. For years, this was seen as ceremonial. In 2014, a physics study demonstrated its practical genius. Adding a specific small amount of water stiffened sand, dramatically reducing friction. This simple trick is, a game changer. Wetting the track could cut pulling force by as much as 50%. A task for 20 could be done by 10. Ancient art aligns with modern science. Egyptians weren't just muscle, they were keen observers and problem solvers. This technique enabled thousands of blocks to move daily efficiently. Movement became continuous and rhythmic. Hauler gangs followed causeways from quarries to the base. Other teams prepared the path, cleared debris, and applied water. A production line on a gigantic scale, feeding an ever-rising structure. The sound of chanting workers, the groan of ropes, and the scrape of sleds on sand filled the air. A symphony of organized labor building a stairway to the heavens for their king. Moving stones on flat ground was one thing. Lifting them up the steepening sides was another challenge entirely. It's almost universally agreed ramps were used. Visual, long straight ramp. Visual, zigzag ramp. Visual, spiral ramp wrapping around the pyramid. A ramp moves weight vertically by applying force over a longer horizontal distance. But the exact configuration remains hotly debated. No large-scale ramp has survived, likely dismantled and repurposed. One theory: a single long ramp extending out into the desert, raised and lengthened as the pyramid grew. Simple concept, big problems. At an 8% slope, it would need to stretch over a mile. The material to build it, mud brick, taffla, and stone chips, would rival the pyramid itself. Zigzag ramps save material, but create dangerous corner turns for 2.5-ton blocks. A spiral allows continuous ascent, but obscures faces and corners, complicating precise surveying. A compelling theory: a wide, straight ramp for lower levels, then an internal ramp above. In 2018, the Scan Pyramids mission detected a large void, possibly an internal corridor, enabling upward hauling from within, elegantly solving many external ramp issues. Beyond sheer size, its precision astounds. The base is nearly a perfect square, about 230 meters a side, level within a few centimeters. The sides align almost perfectly with cardinal directions: north, south, east, west. This accuracy, 4,500 years ago, came not from advanced tech, but meticulous surveying. They mastered practical geometry and astronomy. Water-filled trenches gave a perfect level reference. Water finds its level. They marked the line and cut down to it, creating a perfectly flat base. They used northern stars to find true north, orienting the entire structure. Tools were simple but effective: cubit rods, plumb bobs, A-frame levels. They pressed red ochre-coated faces together to reveal high spots, chiseling until a knife blade couldn't slip between casing stones. Surveyors maintained the 51.5-degree slope to the apex. Building the Great Pyramid was a feat of project management, coordinating over 20,000 workers, managing vast supply lines, keeping to a 20 to 27-year schedule, all under the vizier, likely Hemiunu, near the pyramid. He oversaw scribes, overseers, and crew leaders. In 2013 at Wadi al-Jarf, a remarkable find: the Diary of Merer, a logbook by a low-level overseer. His crew numbered about 40. They ferried Tura limestone to Giza by boat. The oldest papyrus found, a personal account of construction, confirming a meticulous chain of command, instructions, and daily tallies. It mentions food rations, matching evidence from the workers' city. Graffiti in the relieving chambers show gangs marking the blocks they set, identifying themselves and their divisions, signing their work for eternity. This was a motivated, proud workforce. The pyramid wasn't raised by an undifferentiated mass, but by a well-ordered society working toward one monumental goal. The Great Pyramid was not built by slaves or aliens, it was built by Egyptians, a testament to skill, organization, and determination. Every bit of evidence is human: paid, well-fed, respected workers, copper and stone tools, wooden sleds, and clever methods like wetting sand. Some questions remain: ramp configurations, massive lifts, internal structures, and science continues to sharpen the picture. Ultimately, this is a human story. Coordinated effort, shared purpose, and ingenuity, building a monument and a civilization.